Hi, everybody. This is Josh Jack, live from the Paste Magazine studios in New York. I'm joined today by Josh Ritter, and he's joined by Josh Kaufman for a special All Josh episode of Live from the Paste Studios. Welcome, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. So, Josh, congrats. You've got your 10th album coming out.
Yeah.
Fever Breaks. Can you talk a little bit about the recording process on this one, recording with Jason Isbell?
Yeah. Well, for my 10th record, I decided I wanted to kind of put myself in a room with people I hadn't ever worked with before. I thought it would be good for me to not know at all what was going to happen. And I'd been doing some touring with Jason, really got to like love him and his family and his band and like the choices that they make, and like I just really wanted to work with him, and I thought it would be fun. And so I sent him a note, and luckily he said that'd be a great time. So we kind of set it up and went down to Nashville and recorded this record over a couple of weeks. It was a great time.
That's great. So you had members of the 400 unit, including Amanda Shires, playing on this thing?
Yeah. It was like they're an amazing band, and really took the songs and pushed them in new directions, and pushed me in some new directions, and it was such a pleasure. It was a great time.
Well, the result is awesome.
Thank you.
I was saying it sounds a little bit even swampier in places than some of the stuff that you've done, including, I think, this first song that you're going to play. Can you tell us a little bit about this song?
Sure. Old Black Magic is a song that I started out playing kind of quiet, and I brought it to Jason and Amanda when I was playing them some demos, and Jason said, I think that could turn into a big rock song. And he said, you never want to try and write a rock song. You want to always end up happening to write a rock song. So this is a version of that. It's called Old Black Magic. True love to true love and rust to rust. I let the others cast stones while I drew in the dust. I tried to be a good man. Something changes in the wind. I got that old black magic rolling in. Wave upon wave now. Here come the dreams, and I can't see the lighthouse, and the lighthouse can't scream, man. Don't you know I need you so bad? Tell me where the hell you been. I got that old black magic rolling in, rolling, 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 rolling in. I can't sleep for crying. I cry all the time. Everybody got an angel, and I got mine. Wings of a crow, overshadowing. I got that old black magic rolling in, rolling, 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 rolling in. Goes down, it's all in my head. I feel it rising from its unmarked bed. Sure not the devil, sure not his friend, but I know for sure what's rolling in. Asked for fire, you already were a thief, so I knew you'd be with me when I need you to be. Steal my soul, honey, keep it for me when you got that old black magic rolling in, rolling, 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 rolling in. Thank you.
Thank you. So, 10th album, that's a huge milestone. I've been following along since Golden Age of Radio.
Yeah, I remember when we first met.
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe it's been so long
Yeah,
since that record
totally.
came out. But can you talk just a little bit about how life has changed over the course of that career? I mean, when we first met, you were just starting out going on the road, living on the road. It looks like this new tour. You've got little 2-week spurts that you're going out. You've got a family back home living here in New York.
Yeah, I it feel it's been amazing. I am daily amazed that music can add up to like family and kids and a place to live and food to eat, and it feels amazing to be able to do that and play music for my life, and like I think I've sort of been, that's what I always was working towards. But now to be in it and to appreciate all that good stuff, it's very fulfilling time right now. Yeah, and I have two kids, and they're gonna tour with me all through the summer, and going to come around all around the world. It's going to be great.
That's fantastic. So speaking of kids, the biggest life change since the last album is the adoption of your second child. I know that's been something that you've had a heart for and have supported the organization you work with. Can you talk a little bit about why adoption and why that was important to you?
Well, Haley and I talked about adoption on our first date. It was something that that I think was on both our minds, and when we had Beatrix, and then we decided let's adopt. This feels like right. It feels the right moment, and we found an amazing organization called Wide Horizons for Children, which does international and domestic adoptions, and we did all the paperwork and did a lot of waiting and a lot of hoping, and we were on tour in Portland, Oregon, and we had just gone to see a waterfall, and got a call saying a baby's just been born and your family has been chosen, and do you want to come and meet the baby? And so Haley and Bea left that afternoon to go to Texas to meet Moxie for the first time, and I joined them about a week later when the tour was over. But that was the strangest week of touring I've ever had. Every night it felt like every day I was getting closer to meeting somebody that I was going to be important in my life forever, and it was like I was coming around the corner of a building about to meet someone for the first time. It was a really incredible experience.
Yeah, and so. So touring, the whole band. A lot of people have little kids in the band, including you, Josh Kaufman. And do you feel like you guys have gotten to a place in your career now you can kind of pick and choose how you do this and how it works for all these families?
I think it's important to treat your own life and the life of the organization and the kind of family that we have, like this big touring family, this like all the people that are on the road. It's important to treat that like an ecosystem, and you can't, especially at certain times, you can't overstress it. And 2 weeks, going out for 2 weeks is you can get a lot done in 2 weeks. We don't take very many days off, and we do a lot of work during those 2 weeks. But then we go home and we're home for 2 weeks, and then we'll go out again. And that seems to be, the best way that we've found to continue getting to do what we love to do, and and making sure that the stress of doing it doesn't overwhelm or overtax the whole system. Mm-hmm. It's a delicate thing, and it takes a lot of work to get it to work. But over doing it, after doing it for 20 years, you stop like wondering what's going to happen next, and you start hoping to do it more. Hoping to do it more, and working to make those opportunities just to get to do what you love happen again, and happen for as long as time as possible. So.
Well, that's great to hear. I love that y'all are able to do that. So, can you tell us a little bit about this next song you're gonna play?
Sure. Let's see. Let's do this song is called "All Some Kind of Dream," and it's one of the more kind of overtly political songs that I've ever worked on, and but I felt like if not now, when, you know. I saw my brother in a stranger's face. I saw my sister in a smile. My mother's laughter in a far-off place. My father's footsteps in each mile. I thought I knew who my neighbor was. We didn't need to be redeemed. Oh, what could I have been thinking of? Was it all some kind of dream? I saw my country in the hungry eyes of a million refugees. Between the rocks and the rising tide, as they were tossed across the sea. There was a time when we were them, just as now they all are we. Was there an hour when we took them in, or was it all some kind of dream? I saw the children in the holding pens. I saw the families ripped apart. And though I try, I cannot begin to know what it did inside their hearts. There was a time when we held them close and weren't so cruel, low and mean. And we did good unto the least of those. Or was it all some kind of dream? I saw justice with a tattered hem. I saw compassion on the run. But I saw dignity in spite of them. I prayed its day would finally come. There was a time when we chose our sides and we refused to live between. We rose to fight for what we knew was right. Or was it all some kind of dream? Last night I lay in my true love's bed, and she lay there close beside. And we lay thinking about what lay ahead, and wondering if the sun would rise. For it seems that these are darker days than any others that we've seen. Oh, how we wish that we weren't wide awake, and this was all some kind of dream. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that kind of captures a lot of the feeling that a lot of people have right now about the state of the world. You haven't done a lot of political songs in the past. What led to that song?
Well, it was the kind of the feeling that when I listen to music, one of the things that I've always taken comfort in is that, like, I'm hearing when I'm listening to music that really grabs me, I'm hearing somebody describe an emotion or a feeling or a situation that is something that I relate to. And that so while answers may be thin on the ground, there's always questions in music, and there's always something those questions and that uncertainty is something that I can relate to, and I find that like it's important to say what's these days, right? It's very important to say exactly what's right there in front of us, to like talk about the things that are so real and explicit, that are, and not couch them in poetics or adventure or anything, but to talk about what is right there in front of us. I think it's vital right now, and so when I hope in music that I can put out some of the, I can talk about my own feelings, and that maybe they can be relatable. I think it's important right now for us to all relate to each other and to expose our vulnerabilities and our uncertainties and right now in our anger, and like right now I feel that that's all there for us to talk about, and to not talk about it is not only kind of dishonest but a huge wasted opportunity.
Yeah. And so for Fever Breaks, as a songwriter, I know you write a lot of songs. What made a song make it onto this album as opposed to saving a song for something else? What was sort of ties these songs together in your mind, do you think?
Well, it was really a desire to make a record that felt like it reflected the moment that we're in, and I knew that the only way to do that was to not look directly at the subject, not write about necessarily always. It was about. I knew that to write about it, I had to work kind of by intuition, and invite in like a lot of ideas as. That's a really good question. It was done by intuition. I knew that I had to write a record that felt like it was a response to right now, but I didn't want it to look directly always right at the subject. It was too ugly, and so to write about murder or the situation on the border, it just felt important to let those moments come out, even though it made the record a sort of a darker thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great. Well, can you tell us about the next song? This will be another one off the record here.
Sure. Let's see. Let's do this one. This is called Losing Battles.
Mm-hmm.
Lost man singing for his soul. I saw it on Rio Bravo. He held the notes like rock and roll. He told his tale to Colorado. I gave up my only twin. I turned my face to the world of shadows. Sometimes the righteous win. Most times it's a losing battle. Swam naked in the mythic lake. Spent the night on the face of the earth. From the apple tree I ripped a snake. It was poison but I knew of its worth. I kept it in a box of wood. I fed it on my sins and apples. Tried to do the things I should. Sometimes it's a losing battle. It's always been in my nature to be the beast. Blame the maker, but stay with me. lost my heart to a girl of silver. She was trying to be free. There was nothing to forgive her. By the time the fever broke and I'd had enough of trouble, that's when trouble spoke. Sometimes it's a losing battle. It's always been in my nature to be the beast. Blame the maker, but stay with me. I fell into a den of thieves, got lost in the caves of virtue, born again and lost belief, without a friend till the day I met you. Now I'm trying to mend my ways. I've had enough of pain and bad will. Good enough for you someday. Till then it's a losing battle. Thank you.
That's so great.
Thank you.
So I love the new album. Excited for this. You've always had some other artistic outlets going on. You wrote Bright's Passage, which I
Yeah.
loved, the novel, and now it seems like you've gotten into painting. Can you tell us just a little bit about finding those other outlets besides songwriting to kind of have as a creative expression?
Thanks. Yeah, like I really enjoy. I find that when I'm working really hard on songs, that I get my mind just kind of gets a little overheated, you know, and it just feels like I start to trip over my own sentences. I trip over my own thoughts, and I need something to slow down a little bit. And painting, when I discovered that I was living up in Woodstock, and I started painting with my daughter. And then I started like going and buying my own paints, you know, and like buying my own brushes because, and then I started to find that it really helped me to write songs, to be able to be away from songs for a little bit and to enjoy creating other things. And the sense of creation is what I'm really after. And I find that sometimes it's important for me to have that, but to not be putting the pressure on myself to be writing a song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I love painting. It's been a real joy, and we're looking for places to hang them now.
Yeah.
They're kind of piling up.
I've experienced that too. I do a little painting. I'm terrible, and I kind of love that I'm terrible because I don't ever want to show other people. So as a writer, you know, just as a journalist, it's like that creative expression has that pressure of vocation, but to have something that's not vocation, that's not, there's nothing writing on it. There's something freeing about that to me.
It's so true to be fine with it not being, you know, I just enjoy painting. It's like I'm not trying to do anything with it. It's like, you know, it's just something that is really that makes me happy, and I'm trying to like be happy.
That's fantastic. So, what about fiction writing? Anything else on the horizon following your novel?
I got a couple rough drafts in my desk, but I have two little kids and not enough time. So I've got them, and they're just sort of sitting there, and I'm waiting for the opportunity. Yeah, but it's gonna happen. I'm waking up at 5 these mornings with kids rather than with a manuscript.
How is that? How do you take that time to write songs, to do other creative outlets? Do you have sort of carve out your 9 to 5 day, or how do you approach that?
For me, it's a little bit like when you look at stars. You know, you get like if you look directly at them, you don't see them as well as if you see them from your periphery. you know. So I find that if I'm working too hard directly on a song, it's a little less it's not quite as good as when I'm doing other stuff and writing a song on the side, you know, writing a song here and there, and that's why, you know, like having kids has been incredible. You know, there's only so much you can, you know, only so many deep thoughts you can think in a day, you know. And the rest of the time you have to be like, you know, you're making lunches and you're doing other stuff and you're working on a song in your head. And like by the time you get the chance to get that song out and onto the page, it's gotten cooler and weirder because you've had to like carry it around in your head for a while. But so I find that, yeah, it's definitely, I work best when I'm not sitting down and working directly, you know.
That's fantastic. Well, cool. Well, so you've got one more song to play for us.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what this next one is?
Sure. This one's called Blazing Highway Home, and I was thinking about that. There's a lot of love songs, but I wanted to write a love song about someone's kind of final moments. Chasing thunder, chasing lightning too. You never wondered what they thought of you. You know you can't outrun the great unknown. May you find yourself a blazing highway home. Somewhere the high cliffs, somewhere the waves hit white. The wind in its mischief, the palace of rainbows eye. We'll be here watching you, though you may feel alone. While you find yourself a blazing highway home. I try to sleep, search in the darkness for something, your soul to keep. Here I am sleeping with nothing. Tell St. Peter you don't wanna wait. Throw it in gear and roll on through those gates. And no matter where your soul may roam, that you'll find yourself a blazing highway home. I try to sleep, search in the darkness for something, your soul to keep. Here I am sleeping with nothing. May the angel sing you country songs. Your mama sang you back when days were long. More beautiful than anything you've known. While you find yourself a blazing highway home. I try to sleep, search in the darkness for something, sleeping with nothing.
Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Thanks a
and
lot.
Congrats on the record. It's out April 26th, Fever Breaks. And you've got some dates coming up, including live from here in New York on April 20th. That
Yeah.
should be fun. In May, you're in Canada. And pretty much in these 2-week spurts, you're going to hit basically every corner of the U.S. somehow.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's going to be super.
that's fantastic. Well, let's keep doing this. I think that over the next 20 years and the next 10 albums,
Yeah.
we should keep meeting like
That'd
this.
be awesome. Yeah, totally. I can't believe it.
All right. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.